Hey guys, welcome back to Dede's Mediterranean Kitchen. Today, all I have to say is pita bread, pita bread, pita bread. All of you out there know what pita bread is. It is the Mediterranean carb. It is the bread. We eat it with everything. You can roll it up, you can fry it, you can bake it, you can do anything you want with it. It's amazing. It's bread. It's really easy to make, and I'm going to make it for you today. After all of the hundreds of requests I've received, I'm finally making it for you. You can get this recipe and all of my other recipes at www.DedeMed.com. Join my social network. If you guys need any ingredients, go to my store page. You can find them there. It's really easy. If you have any questions, email me. Let me know what's up, and I'll make sure to answer you. Now, there's only a couple of ingredients you really need to make this. Flour, sugar, yeast, salt, olive oil, and water. I think that's about it. So I'm going to show you how to put it together right now. First things first, we have 1 teaspoon of sugar, and I'm going to empty 1 packet of yeast. And you guys always ask me how much yeast is 1 packet. It's a 1/4 ounce or 7 grams of yeast. You can use quick rising, regular yeast, whatever you want, whatever you find at the grocery store. Mix up the sugar and the yeast. And to this, we're going to add a 1/2 cup of warm water. And then we're going to let it sit for about 10 to 15 minutes until it becomes all foamy. You're going to see it actually get foamy. It's really kind of funky. The sugar activates the yeast and gets it to start reacting and start rising. So give it a quick stir just like that, and then just leave it alone. Next, we have our bowl, and we have 3 cups of flour. I have plain white flour, not self-rising or anything, just regular plain white flour. If you want to make this more healthy, you can use about a cup of whole wheat flour with 2 cups of white flour. Again, if you want, you can use non-bleached flour, whatever you'd like. I'm going to add 1.5 teaspoon of salt. We're going to mix this up just like that. If you have a mixer or a blender, you can use that. It has the dough attachment. But I know, a lot of you guys are like, oh, I don't know where to get that, and it's kind of expensive. So I'm going to show you how to do this the economical way. We're going to put it in a bowl. We're going to make a little well in the middle, and then we're going to wait for the yeast to activate. You can see how the yeast has risen. That's exactly what you want. What we're going to do is we are going to put this in the middle of the well. Just pour it in like that and start slowly mixing in some of the flour. It's better to use a wooden spoon because it makes it a lot easier. Get all that yeast in there. And it's not as sticky. We're going to get 1 cup of warm water. We're going to slowly pour some in. Mix it in a little bit more. Incorporate more of the flour each time you add more liquid. Just that. It's good elbow work. Good exercise. Put in the rest of the water. Slowly work it in until all the flour is incorporated. See, just like that. All the flour is incorporated, all the water is incorporated. What we're going to do next is we're going to get a nice bowl, larger than the dough, maybe twice the size. And we're going to put some olive oil or vegetable oil on the bottom of it. I think you need a little bit more. And we're going to coat the dough with the oil. so that it rises, and when you coat it with the oil, the dough is allowed to rise. Otherwise it'll stick to the edges and it will not have the capacity to rise because it's going to be stuck. So let me move this over just like that. Flip the dough over. So see, it's nicely coated. The sides of the bowl are coated. Cover this with saran wrap and a nice towel, and you want to store it in a nice warm place. So I want to show you what it looks like after it rises. And you can see here that I have my nice University of Michigan bowl. It's one of the universities that I went to. I am from Michigan and very proud to be from there. So all of you Ohio State fans, I'm sorry that you went to Ohio State. The dough has risen, just like that. What we're going to do is we're going to knead it now. Take off all your jewelry because you don't want the dough to stick into your jewelry. We're going to nicely flour our board. You're probably going to work in about half a cup of flour. So just like that. Spread it out. Flour your hands, just like that. And then pull off the edges. See how it easily pulls off the edges? You can see the oil right there. And roll it under. We're going to knead this for about 10 minutes. Just slowly like that until it's elastic and not really sticky any longer. So just fold it in. Just get the edge, fold it in, press it down. Fold it in, press it down. Fold it in, press it down. Just like that. When you knead flour, the gluten gets released. So when you're making a cake, you don't want to stir it too much because then it'll get really crispy. But when you're making bread, you do want to knead it so that you get a nice crust on the bread. So just like that. Great exercise for the arms. Keep your hand floured so that it doesn't get too sticky. Just like that. See, we worked a lot of our flour in. It's kind of sticky. Add a little bit more flour. And then what we're going to do is we're going to form this into small balls. And then we're going to let it rise for another 10 minutes before we actually roll it out and cook it. So this is almost done. So you want to knead it until, see, the dough is no longer sticking to my hands. That's when you know you're done. Going to get a plate. I'll put some flour in the plate, just like that. And I'm going to form just little balls, just like that. Put them in there. We're going to cover them, let them rise for 10 our rolls here, and let it rise for 10 minutes. I'm going to cook 2 at a time. Again, the oven is preheated to 500 degrees. You want to put the rack on the lowest rack nearest to the heat. So we're going to make sure your board is floured very well. And I'm preheating my pan as well that I'm going to bake them in. I have it in the oven right now. So as soon as these are rolled out, I'm just going to pop them on there and then cook them. Now you're going to cook these for about probably about 4 minutes, and then turn them over for another 2 minutes. You want to roll these out. You're going to have them about 4 to 5 inches in diameter. And you want them about an 1/8 inch thick. So let's flour my rolling pin. Remember always to flour your rolling pin so it doesn't stick to it. Just like that. Very lightly roll them out. Nice circles. Just like that. See? They're nicely rolled. Put on the side. Let's get another one going. Really easy to make. I'm I'm going to pull out my pan, throw them on there, and then throw them in the oven. This is my nice wearing pan that I put everything on. It has flavor from everything you can possibly think of. So just like that, put them back in the oven. Let them go for 4 to 5 minutes. Flip them over for another 2 minutes. Keep your eye on them. You don't want them to burn. I'm going to keep rolling these out and I'll see you when they're done. They're nice and puffy. You want to puff this down. Like that. And if you're having people over for dinner, you can serve it right away. If you're going to store it, don't let them sit out too long. You want to put them in a plastic bag so they do stay moist. I'm going to put these in next. Just like that. I want to show you these. Look at this. Ooh, they're very hot. Look at that. They're nice and moist. Oh, the smell is absolutely amazing. It's a nice pocket in there. Can you see that? Look at the steam coming out. This smells so good. You can try and get them brown. You can leave them in for a couple seconds more if you like them a little bit toasted. Serve this with hummus, serve it with your meals. It's great. It's easy to make. If you're having people over for breakfast, it's nice to have nice fresh pita bread for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Enjoy it. Try it. And join me again for Dede's Mediterranean Kitchen.